breathe in and start with 3 times Om. Good morning. This morning we start with frogs, active frogs and sleepy frog, both 20 counts. Place your feet against each other, heels touch, and your toes point outwards. Then raise your heels, come on your toe, on your tippy toes, and then you bend forward and stretch and touch your fingers to the ground. And now you bend your legs and your knees widen all the way, as far as possible. You raise your head, be comfortable in this position, and then you lower your heels to the floor and you stretch your legs. And you keep your hands where they are. Stretch your legs all together, and now come in some rush down. Your buttocks touch your heel. And from active frog, we go to sleepy frog, and you go in the same position, heels next to each other, on your toes, bend your knees, sit your knees as wide as possible to the back, and then, but now you tumble forward, and this may seem very easy, but it's actually very hard on your back. So you rest both your knees in a frog wide position on the mat, and then you rest on your elbows and you stay in this position for about 20 counts again. Now you turn around and go lay flat on your back and then stretch both your legs, and then you raise one knee and you turn all the way. You raise for example, your right knee, then you turn to the left with your knee, and at the same time you turn your head to the opposite direction, and your arms are stretched out. They are stretched out actively, as if someone is pulling them. Try to get your cheek to the floor. At the same time, you try to get your knee to the floor. So it's an active position. After 20 counts, you change and go to the other side. Now we go into the next position to stretch the thigh, the back of your thigh. You raise your right leg, bend your leg, and bend your leg. Then you raise your left leg and you bend it as well, but then you put your left foot against your right knee. And then the gap that's created on your left side, you put your stretched out left arm through it. Your right arm comes on the right side around your right leg, and with both hands you grab your right knee and pull the knee towards you, and now you feel the stretch in the upper thigh of your left leg. And you remain like this for 20 counts, and then you change to the other side. All the while, try to keep your back as straight as possible and keep on breathing. Keep on breathing. Now we come up and get into downward facing dog, pyramid pose, and we remain there for 20 counts. Now slowly walk with your feet towards your hands. Keep your legs as straight as. Remain in this position for 20 counts. Now we go to the swan position, the sleeping swan. You step back into a downward facing dog, and stretch your legs, and then raise your right leg as high as possible and stretch it out completely before you bring it down. Your knee comes between your two hands. You rest on your knee kind of, and you put your chin and your foot, you put it horizontal, and then you lower yourself down onto that leg that is all bent, and you stretch out your arms in front of you, and you lay there for 20 counts while your left leg is quite actively stretched out to the behind, and your toes are pointing behind. After 20 counts, you come up, raise your chest, and remain there for 20 counts. Stretch out your leg to the behind, pointing your toes. Stretch out your arms, your hands pointing forwards. And now you slowly move your hands next to your chest on either side of your shoulders. And then you come up into, let's say, upward looking swan. Press your chest all the way to the front. You can look up, open your eyes, and remain in this position for 20 seconds, for 20 counts. And then we come back into downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, we go into the cat and cow position. Make sure your hands are exactly under your shoulders. Spread your fingers out wide. Your upper thighs should be in a 90-degree angle with your chins. and your knees are as far apart from each other as your hands are. And bow your back while you breathe in, and round your back while you breathe out, and repeat this 20 times. And from cow-cat we go onto the tiger, and you take your right leg, you lift it up as high as possible, you swing it down, touching your knee to your chin, or to your lips or to your nose. Round your back and swing out your leg, and try to get as much movement into this as possible. Do it 20 times to one leg, and change to the other leg for another 20 counts. And then we move on to the most difficult position. Remain in the cat, and then place your right leg in front of you. Right foot is on the floor. Push it forwards, so the angle becomes wide as possible. The angle between your legs. Rest your elbow on your right knee, and then stretch out your left arm towards your left leg behind, and then raise your left foot towards your left hand. You may lose balance, that's okay, just find your balance and try to do this again. This hurts your knees, it hurts your upper thigh, so be careful. And then to get out of it, you lower your left foot to the floor again, and you straighten your right leg, and you bow over your right leg and stretch your right leg by holding your right toes, and make 20 counts in this position. And then change your legs. Your left leg comes to the front, put your left foot in front of you, and let it glide forward a little bit, so the angle between your legs becomes as wide as possible. And then with a bit of effort, with your right arm, grab your right foot. And the idea of this position is that you push your hips towards the floor, but watch out, your knee will hurt. And then to come out of the position, repeat what we did on the other side. You lower your left foot, your right foot to the floor, and you stretch out your left leg and you bow over it. Here your back can be hollow, as long as you grab your toes and just pull until the leg is as straight as possible. And then we are almost done. Gonna sit in lotus position, relax, and put your hands in front of your chest, and sit well on your sit bones. Be comfortable. Feel how your body feels, and once you've breathe in and breathe out a couple of times,
Then you take a deep breath and you start with Om and repeat Om 3 times to complete this morning ritual. It was an enormous pleasure. Wish you a fantastic day.